Hi, Grand Prairie students. I'm so excited that I get to work with you this week. I am Mrs. Beckus, and I am so thrilled that I get to do a little bit of poetry with you. I have my poetry hat on, poetry scarf on. I'm super excited about this week. We're not only going to be working with poetry, but it is going to be a big part of our week. I wanted to go ahead and start by making sure that you know what our goal is this week. So we're gonna go over our I can for this week. So our I can is, I can describe how words and phrases supply rhythm and meaning in a story or poem. I want you guys to go ahead and repeat that with me so you make sure that you remember our goal for the week. So let's go ahead and read it together. I can describe how words and phrases supply rhythm and meaning in a story or poem. Great job. We're going to be talking about the way authors do this. And they do this by using these two words, literary devices. Can you guys say that with me? Literary devices. Great job. Now, devices are things that we use to do certain things with all the time. For example, you may need to use a device to play your video games at home. You might need the controller or an Xbox or a PlayStation. You also use devices when you're going to make music. So when Mrs. Turnbow and you are making music, there's many devices you use. There could be an amplifier, there could be speakers, there could be instruments. So we use devices all the time in our daily life. Authors, such as yourself and me, and the ones that we read in books, use literary devices all the time to make a special effect in their writing, such as rhythm and or meaning. So we're going to go ahead this week and we're going to talk about how they do that. So let's talk about the three things that are literary devices that we are going to use this particular week. The first one is rhymes. The second one is alliteration. And the third one is repeated lines or repetition. You're going to hear me use either repeated lines or repetition. Those mean the same things. Repetition is when something happens over and over again, so it's repeated. As we go along through this week, and you're looking at stories and you're looking at poems, I want you to always be thinking about, why does the author repeat that line? Why do they do that? Maybe you can think about which sentences are an example of alliteration. And we're also going to be thinking about rhyming words. So we're gonna go ahead and talk about these three literary devices a little bit deeper. And then later on today, you are going to be listening to a poem, Dirty Face, and we're going to be going and marking up the poem for some literary devices. So our first literary device is rhymes, and I'm sure you're pretty good experts at this, but just so you know, they're words that sound the same at the, you guessed it, at the end. Good job. I have an example here for you. Second graders rule. They rock at school. Can you think about the two words that rhyme? Great job. Rule and school. Did you notice though, rule and school, they're not spelled the same, but they sound the same. Remember, the word sound is also phoneme. So they sound the same at the end. Great job. Rule, school. The second literary device that we are going to be talking about is alliteration. This means words start with the same sound or phoneme. So I want you to think about, when I read these sentences, what sound or phoneme is repeated, which caused alliteration. Slowly, the snake slithered away silently. What sound or phoneme did you hear that the author used to repeat? Oh, great job. If you heard S, you are correct. Great job. So that is an example of alliteration. A lot of times they kind of twist up your tongue, called a tongue twister. The third and final literary device that we are going to be discussing this week is repeated lines. This means words or phrases are repeated to show importance of a feeling or an idea. There's a really famous author that I think you all might know that wrote these 2 lines in one of his books. I want you to think about who the author might be, and I also want you to think about what they used to repeat. I do not like them in a box. I do not like them with a fox. You might even know what comes next. Who wrote that? Great job if you guessed Dr. Seuss. What was the words that Dr. Seuss used to repeat? I do not like them. Very good. And the author used those repeated lines to show an important feeling. They didn't like those things, so they wanted to really let you know, I don't like those things. So that's why those lines were repeated. So students, next, I want for you to go on further today, and I cannot wait for you to hear the poem Dirty Face, and I want for you to go ahead and be ready to interact with me on that lesson. It has been great learning with you at home, and I'm so proud of your hard work. Keep it up. Keep this great week going, and I'm very proud of you. We're so proud of you, GP students. All right, so go ahead and stop and then go on to Dirty Face. Thank you.